I'd like to begin with a few short words about the truth. I ran into the truth the other night. It looked at me like it didn't know me, like it was some stranger. I know I dabble in my own reality, but I thought surely our paths must have crossed once or twice along the way. I guess not. At least so writes the poet and musician that we honor tonight. But if Keats is to be believed, that beauty is truth and truth is beauty, then respectfully I have to disagree. Truth, in the guise of beauty, is clearly an intimate of Chuck Perrin. The eldest of 12 children, Chuck was born and raised here, not South Bend, here in Vettville on campus. He attended Holy Cross Seminary High School. He's a part of the Notre Dame class of 1969. And his love affair with beauty, expressed in music, began in those early years. I could talk for the next 30 minutes about his achievements in youth as a college student here at Notre Dame, about his music, his poetry, his performances, the several albums he has produced, including 3 with his sister. But honestly, it's not just for his musical skill and his many achievements that we honor him tonight. It is for his care for community, for creativity, and for culture. Talented an artist as he is, his fans and friends will tell you that it is behind the scenes that he has made the most difference and given the biggest impact. While still a student here, he started his own record label, dedicated to the artistic independence and creative freedom of the musicians. A few years later, moving to San Diego, he soon realized that there was a need for music to have its own place in the city. How can beauty share the stage with the beer and bustle of a bar? How can artists and audience connect when truth becomes background noise amidst the neon distractions common to other venues? So in April of 2000, he founded Dizzy's, an all ages, not-for-profit, music-only venue where there is no question that music matters most, where jazz, blues, bluegrass can share space with big bands and mambo orchestras, where the bulk of the proceeds go directly to the artists themselves, not to marketing, not to the venue. After more than 16 years, Dizzy's is approaching, or perhaps has now surpassed, 3,000 shows, totaling over 7,000 hours of creative bliss. It has become a San Diego institution with a reputation known to jazz fans and artists around the world. Now, I have heard that Chuck calls all of this music jazz, a state of mind, not a specific type of music. That a jazz musician is anyone who lives and creates in the moment. In my line of work, we call that mindfulness. Sometimes we call it prayer. Certainly, we call it beautiful. And that's the truth. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Mr. Chuck Perrin, class of 1960.
I am so honored by this. You know, I've always been particularly proud of the organic uniqueness of my relationship with Our Lady's University. As AJ said, I lived on this campus for the first 5 years of my life. I grew up in Vettville, right about where the library sits right now, while my dad was getting his degrees. Father Ted was Vettville's chaplain, and for a time, my dad was its mayor. My brother and sister and I played on the quad's grasses, and we just about wore out the swing set that sat right next to our barracks apartment, just a stone's throw from the stadium. After my father graduated, we moved to Illinois. My parents would often bring the growing family back to campus for visits during summer vacations. We would stay at the old Morris Inn, visit the grotto and the bookstore, and happy as clams to be here, eat our meals in the South Dining Hall. When it came time for me to go to high school, I returned to campus to study at Holy Cross Seminary. The view from my dorm room looked out over St. Mary's Lake, where we seminarians played hockey in the winter and swam in the summer. We went to every single home football game. Our seats were in the last row along the very top rim of the stadium. And it was during my 4 years there that I first met Father Lauck, in whose honor I am here today. He would often come over to our refectory from Moreau for dinner, and sometimes a little entertainment from the folk groups I was involved in. So when it came time for college, there was no other place I would rather be than right here. I remember musing on my graduation day in 1969 that up to that time, at the ripe age of 23, I had actually spent over half my life living on this campus. Maybe it was because my parents began their married life together and started their family here that this campus became such a touchstone for them. And their love for this place had no trouble trickling down to each of their children. A brother, a sister, a nephew, and a niece also went to school here. But every single one of my 11 brothers and sisters would have loved to. For whatever reason, this feeling, this sense of this place became a legacy that each one of us treasure. And I know most of us in this room feel the same way. So I think it's only fitting that I dedicate this award to my dad and mom. They started it all, they fostered it, and there's not a doubt in my mind that they are somehow present with us here tonight. Here at one of their favorite places on earth. Thank you so much.